Fox 61, Connecticut's news station begins with a Weather Watch alert.
And we are watching extreme heat this week. Thanks for joining us. I'm Brent Harden.
And I'm Bridget Piorlo. If you've stepped outside recently, you know it's hot out there and it's not going anywhere anytime soon.
We have team coverage on what you need to know to stay cool and how to keep your kids safe. But first, let's send it right over to Chief Meteorologist Rachel Frank for a check on the forecast. Rach.
Yeah, this is day one of our heat wave. Settle in. We are just getting started. We have 3 more days to go and it will only get hotter. I think the heat peaking on Thursday. But it's not just the heat, it's the humidity too. That is making it feel even hotter than the temperatures suggest, which we'll talk more about in just a moment or two. It's not as hot at the shoreline, but we could still see temperatures up around 90 and a heat index above that as we head through the coming days. Another issue is we've got humid nights as well. So for folks that don't have air conditioners, there is this impact where it gets warmer and warmer over the coming days. You're not fully able to cool off your home. The National Weather Service has issued a heat advisory statewide to warn people that the heat index could be above 95 degrees, except for the immediate shoreline where it won't be quite as hot. An excessive heat watch, meaning watching the potential for a heat index above 100, but they're not quite sure just yet if that will happen. That will be Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. They're watching the possibility of that for Hartford and for Tallinn counties. Here's a look at the temperatures right now, but as we've been saying, the temperatures don't tell the full story. You also have to look at the heat index. And for more on that, we head to meteorologist Ryan Breton. Hi, Ryan.
Hi, Rachel. Definitely the combination of the heat and humidity coming so early in the season is having an impact around here. Right now, the heat index or feels like temperature in Hartford is 93, and Windsor Locks it's 98, and New Milford 92. Now at the shoreline where we've had that breeze coming in off the water, it has not been nearly as stifling, although it is still humid. So going forward, we factor in the temperature and the dew point, which measures how much moisture or humidity is in the air, and it feels like 93 right now. Going through the night, it remains warm and muggy, and by tomorrow morning, the temperature will pretty much match that feels like temperature or heat index. But once we really start to heat up, that's when things take off. By noon, we're feeling like the low 90s, and we think that tomorrow afternoon, it will feel even hotter than it did this afternoon. The actual air temperature inland getting into the mid 90s, coupled with the high humidity, it may feel like 99 to nearly 100 degrees tomorrow afternoon, and it will still be pretty stuffy tomorrow evening and tomorrow night. For more on where we go from here, we'll send things back to Rachel.
Heading through the evening tonight, we're looking at temperatures that will only be dropping back into the 60s to near 70, as Ryan was talking about a little bit earlier. Tomorrow, here's a look at the temperatures. Again, climbing into the lower to middle 90s, but as Ryan also mentioned, feeling like it could approach triple digits when you factor in the humidity as well. By Friday, we're looking at showers and storms in the afternoon. That will break this heat wave, but it still remains very warm and humid, even heading into this upcoming weekend. We're going to talk more about that, what that means heading into Travelers Week. Full forecast coming up in just a bit, guys.
All right, Rachel, I'll talk with you soon. Thank you. And as we kick off this first heat wave of the summer, officials in Hartford are reminding you to stay cool and check on your neighbors as well.
Fox 61's Matt Karen talked to residents and city leaders about what you need to know to stay safe and shaded. Matt.
Well, this is a time when you just can't overestimate how hot it can get. Baking in the midday sun, even some of this playground equipment can get too hot to touch. And as the week wears on, it's just going to get worse. Connecticut's capital city has opened all their splash pads. But their public pools are another story. On this day, the Goodwin Park pool still bone dry for repair work and acquiring lifeguards.
There's construction being done on some of our pools. We're also, hiring up lifeguards for the summer. We hope to have announcements on that coming soon.
Hartford Mayor Arunan Aralampalam asked residents to look out for each other.
When we have these heat waves, unfortunately, people in communities like this die all the time. Check in on all of those around you who may be vulnerable. Those who are elderly, those who are young kids, those who with pre-existing conditions, your pets.
During this time of extreme heat, the city has opened 13 cooling centers. 6 of them are public libraries.
Aside from them being cooling centers, they also offer a lot of programming and resources that you're able to access while you're in the space being cool.
We visited the Park Street Library, a cool space, literally and figuratively. A place to eat, use the bathroom, or charge your device.
I think it's a good idea. I mean, you want to have a nice, relaxing, safe place, AC, so that you can go and take it easy if you're not hitting the beach, if you're not going to a pool.
Hartford fire officials say they'll be making sure everyone has access to hydration.
We will be driving by and handing out water, also visiting all of our cooling centers to make sure our residents in those cooling centers have water as well.
To find a cooling center near you, you can call 211 or 311. And let's face it, the sun isn't the only thing flaring during this time of extreme heat. Tempers can flare too, which typically leads to a spike in violent crime. The mayor told me that the police department is working proactively to make sure the community stays safe. Reporting in Hartford, Matt Caron, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Matt, thank you. And if you are planning on heading to a splash pad to cool off in the coming days, be aware that the one on Nevers Road in South Windsor is temporarily closed. Officials say it's undergoing repairs right now, and it remains unclear when it'll be back open. We'll let you know when it does.
It happens more often than some might think, leaving kids in hot cars. It can be dangerous and, of course, even deadly. And as the temperatures continue to rise this week, Fox 61's Julia LeBlanc speaks with a doctor at Yale, reminding us all how to keep our children safe.
As a mom of two under 4, Hannah Hooper doesn't always take her kids in the car with her. But on a day like today, this trip was a must.
We'll be heading in soon before it gets really hot.
And while it's hot outside, it's even hotter inside a car.
Yeah, I don't leave them in there alone just for safety reasons and for the heat reason.
But tragedies do happen.
Since 1998, 971 kids have died from heat stroke related incidences in relation to vehicles. In Connecticut, since 1990, 7 children have died.
Tracy Noble with AAA says it mostly happens when parents have a break in their routine.
We need all parents and caregivers to make a concentrated effort.
Noble says one tip for parents and guardians is to throw something you need in the back seat with your child, like your purse or even your left shoe, serving as yet another reminder not to leave your little one behind.
Just be mindful that heat can kill, and heat-related illness or heat exhaustion, heat stroke is completely preventable.
Dr. Kirsten Bechtel has worked here at Yale New Haven Children's Hospital for 25 years. She treats kids with heat exhaustion this time of year quite often.
Kids will either look really hot and sweaty or be very red and flushed. They might complain that they might want to throw up, or their heart is beating really fast, or have cramps in their legs.
Symptoms Dr. Bechtel says can typically be treated with fluids, cool compresses, putting the child's legs up, and getting kids inside quickly. But when it progresses to heat stroke, it's a cause for concern.
Heat stroke is where kids are really prone to serious, injury or even death. We see heat stroke when kids are left in hot cars.
A reminder to all parents this summer. And here's another one. If you need help, don't be afraid to ask.
That's when you have to have a support network and maybe have a relative or a friend drive you or your child if you're feeling just not capable enough or too tired.
In New Haven, Julia LeBlanc, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Thank you, Julia. And so if this heat we're experiencing could turn dangerous if you aren't careful, what symptoms should we be looking out for? Well, if it's heat exhaustion, you might have a headache, feel dizzy, thirsty, nauseous. You might sweat profusely. For heat stroke, it's slurred speech, confusion, and unconsciousness. Heat stroke is more serious. If you or someone around you has these symptoms, call 911 immediately. And now at 6, the 911 system across Massachusetts is back up and running after going down for hours today. It's unclear how many communities were impacted, but Massachusetts officials urged anyone experiencing an emergency to contact local police departments until service was restored. Officials are now looking into what caused that outage.
And new tonight, a deadly crash under investigation in Brantford. Police say Josiah Steinman hit a car that was parked on the right shoulder on I-95 North just after 3 a.m. He died from his injuries. The driver of the other car was not injured, and the crash is now under investigation.
A Fox 61 follow-up now. The dog that was found tied to a tree and abandoned in Wolcott is still looking for a forever home. That dog, who goes by the name Obi, has been with the Tyler Regional Animal Care Shelter for nearly 60 days now. Shelter officials say Obi is starting to get stressed out in the kennel, so they are really looking to get him into a home as soon as possible. The shelter was originally looking to get Obi into a female-only home, but say they will consider a couple that is willing to put in the work and time to help him feel safe. Anyone interested in adopting Obi should contact the South Windsor Police Department.
2 men in Connecticut's largest prison are continuing their hunger strike, protesting the conditions there. Jackie Robinson Jr. says he last ate June 7th, while James Davenport stopped on June the 8th. Their message is that there aren't enough mental health services at the Suffield facility and that the staff treats them, what they say, inhumanely. They both say the conditions don't support any kind of rehab or growth, and prison advocates tell Fox 61 tonight that Davenport had to be hospitalized. Their families are now asking to be moved out of their cells and into full-time medical observation.
And a reminder here, starting July 1st, Connecticut's diesel tax is going up 3.2 cents per gallon. The tax is automatically adjusted every year based on wholesale fuel prices. Not a big change, though truckers say it can add up for them. Last year, lawmakers canceled the scheduled increase to try and help that industry during crippling diesel gas prices. July 1st is also the day many new laws will take effect statewide. Governor Lamont has now gotten through all of the bills from the 2024 session, that short session, vetoing only 2 of them.
But lawmakers are getting ready to head back for a special session set for next week, and that could mean more changes to car-related laws and fees. The Senate will start next Wednesday, the 26th, and the House the day after that. While plenty of causes and bills that didn't make it through want to be picked up next week, Governor Lamont is looking for the Assembly to keep a narrow focus. There's only one big item on the list. It's part of the statute going into effect in October, aimed at lowering car tax, also reducing how much you owe each year overall. But that is going to mean a pretty sudden loss of revenue for towns. So lawmakers are going to look at increasing the original car tax assessment rate for when you first buy your vehicle. Right now it's 70%. We could see it go up 80 or even 85%. But again, there will be that year-to-year lowering. We'll of course keep you up to date next week right here on Fox 61.